Hey folks, it's Florida Deere. Thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to answer a question that maybe hasn't been asked. And I think it probably has been asked by someone at least. So here goes. Alright, so today's video we're going to see if we can run a stump grinder on a garden tractor. Specifically an X585 that you see here with the loader, and to help it with some weight we're gonna throw on some wheel weights on the rear tires and see if that'll help. And I'll pick you up shortly here. Alright, we're here with Luke and Timothy from Luke's John Deere Garage and Timothy's Tractors. So he's going to save the day because my buddy Thomas did not have a top link for this thing. So he was trying to use something that was just simply not going to work. So we're going to use this, get it hitched up, and then hopefully the next clip will be us running the stump grinder on a stump. Alright, so this is Luke piloting the tractor, because Thomas, who has a face for radio, doesn't want to be in the video. So as you're going to witness right here, this garden tractor, the X585, did pretty darn well. We were really concerned that it just wasn't heavy enough to basically keep the tractor stationary and, planted while it was doing the stump grinder, but it really wasn't a big issue. The biggest issue was really the shutoff on the PTO. On the 1023, it doesn't, when you put the rear PTO on, you can back up and there's no issue with it. It'll, continue to run without having to do anything with the safety switch. On the garden tractors, obviously, since they're mainly used for mowing, they have a safety switch which we could have defeated, but we weren't just, we were trying to kind of get the video going and stuff, so you got an idea of how things were working here. And we had another issue, which was something that I will get into in just a moment, another challenge that we were dealing with as well. But as you can see, it doesn't seem to have any issues grinding this stump, and this was a blackjack oak.
Let's bypass it.
Well, that would be the switch under here, and then your reverse button can stay on all
Real
the time.
tractors already have the rear PTO bypass, but I'm just saying.
It doesn't really matter. It's just you got to hold it and turn it back up.
We're arm wrestling with our tractors. How about that? So when I'm hanging out with my garden tractor buddies, I can't help but point out some differences between garden tractors and what I call real tractors. Of course, the 1 Series is at the very bottom of what might be considered real tractors, and so and I have garden tractors. In fact, mostly I have one 1 Series and multiple garden tractors. So I pretty much consider myself a garden tractor person, but they're always bugging me about different things on the 1023, so I'm bugging them about that. And the truth of the matter is, this tractor actually has more horsepower, and I think PTO horsepower, than my 1023. And I think that the next one we're going to try it on, the 445, is pretty similar in horsepower, both in PTO and engine horsepower. So we just have that going. And Thomas's response, of course, to me is, "Do you want to arm wrestle?" So I thought that was kind of funny. I figured I'd leave that into the video.
Go a little further back, so you're in the ground before you hit the stump.
So the other issue we were dealing with was just simply a learning curve, teaching Thomas and Luke how to run a stump grinder on a tractor. They're pretty familiar with tractors, but they were not familiar with running a stump grinder, so there was just a little bit of learning curve there, telling them exactly how to pull through the stump and so on and so forth to get that done. So beyond the learning curve and the auto shut-off safety switch on both of these tractors, when you go into reverse, it shuts off the PTO. The other issue we had was the 3-point setup in specifically here was the PTO shaft. We didn't want to cut either of the PTO shafts, so at least not yet. So here we only could get so much lift. So the 445 is certainly more capable than what this shows here, but we didn't have a good setup with the 3-point hitch. Apparently it and the X585 have a slightly different geometry to the 3-point setup. And I think that would be the sort of limitation that I would see here with these garden tractors, is they have the power to run the stump grinder, they have the weight in the tractor to keep it stabilized during use, but what might be a little bit of a challenge for them is how deep they could grind, and also how high they could pick up the stump grinder over, you know, an obstacle or over a stump and then grind through it. So that might be the one limitation that you're seeing right here. In addition to that, neither one of them had a hydraulic top link, so that had me, you know, a little bit, you know, left me a little wanting, you know, not having that. And also the Category 1 hitch on my 1023 also has adjustments to where you can tighten so there's no sway with the stump grinder too. As you can see, when this hits the stump, sometimes it'll shift the whole stump grinder off to one side, and you can check that out as well. So we were dealing with another issue that I'd almost forgotten about, and that was the slip clutch. The slip clutch was not adjusted appropriately, so it was doing a lot of slipping, and it seemed like as the time went on, the slip clutch slipped more and more, so it got more loose as time went on, which is probably not surprising, and that kind of impeded some of our progress here too. So the two garden tractors never really did bog down. They did a pretty good job of, you know, maintaining the power right through to the stump grinding wheel. So I thought that was good, and they performed, you know, pretty well. So you do need a Category 1 hitch, not a Category 0. Well, hey folks, if you've made it this far, I appreciate you watching the video, and hopefully it was a useful video and maybe it answered that question that has not been asked yet. If you liked the video, please hit the like button, and if you want to see more videos about the John Deere garden tractors or the John Deere 1 series, you can hit the subscribe button as well. And again, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, bye.